This is a box of trains I bought on eBay for $60, and it's time to get everything out of here and take a look at it. Looks like, first of all, there is a B unit shell. And an F unit shell. Right here looks to be an AHM chassis system GP18. This right here is a dummy B unit. This looks to be a Lionel GP30. I used to have one of these a long time ago. Right here is a static display Canadian National locomotive. Here's another AHM GP18, this time a Seaboard 1776 one. Here's a tender for a steam locomotive. And there's the actual steam locomotive. Here's a completely blank lifelike F unit. Here is a really interesting looking PRRF unit. Here's a Boston and Maine shell. Here's a chassis without any shell. I think it probably went with the Boston and Maine. Here's a Mantua F7. And that should be every locomotive out of the box. I've had a chance to look everything over, and now I'm just going to show you all these models one by one. I'm going to start with this weird static display Canadian National locomotive. I don't think I've ever actually owned a Canadian National locomotive. I believe this is supposed to be one of the barns or something like that. It seems to be an actual nice model for being a scratch-built kit. I don't know what I'll do with it. It's kind of neat. I really don't have a use for it, though, so it might just sit around for a while. Next up, we got the shell from a B unit. This looks like it was probably from an Athearn model. I've got no way of telling that other than the way it looks. Doesn't say anywhere on there, but that would be my best guess. Now, the other shell we have kind of perplexes me. This is some sort of F unit. However, this one actually looks really nice. I've never seen this exact vent detail on a model before, neither of these exact fans or horns or anything like that. I don't actually know exactly what manufacturer would have made this F unit, but it's a really nice looking shell. So if anyone knows, please let me know, because I don't have a clue. And now we can go on to some of the more complete pieces. We've got the unpowered B unit, which looks to be a Tycho Mantua. This one doesn't have any couplers or anything, but it does appear to have a matching locomotive over here. And I do have another Mantua F unit with the same color scheme, so I might be able to make a trio of these things. So since we've got it here, I'll show you this guy. What's kind of neat is that this one actually has screws, so I can actually work on this thing. And something else I've noticed about a lot of these is they have KD couplers on them, which makes my life a lot easier. So I don't know what this thing will need. And by the way, every single model in this lot claims to be broken and that none of these will run whatsoever. So we'll find that out later. Now we'll move on to the one steam locomotive of the lot. This guy, which looks to be, I believe, probably a lifelike, maybe a play art, something like that. But it's definitely something like that. I've had some of these in the past, and I know some of the common issues, so we'll see what's going on with this guy. Next up, we have the first of the GP18s. I believe this one actually has the roof of the other one, which is kind of weird. I might need to scratch build a roof for one of these guys, but this is the chassis one. It looks to have all its couplers and coupler cover plates, which is kind of rare. It's got all its screws and everything, but this engine looks to be in really rough shape. It's really filthy and probably needs a very good cleanup. Now we've got the other GP18. This one looks a little bit less rough. It is missing the one coupler cover right there. I have figured out a repair for that, and I've done it on one of my other locomotives, so that might be something to try out with this guy. It does look like this one's missing one of its screws and the back clip is broken, so both of these guys are not in great shape. Move that away. Then we have this Pennsylvania Railroad engine, which I think might be an Athearn, but I'm not sure. It's got this really weird drive system with like brass wheels and everything on here, and a Katy on the front. So who knows? That'll definitely be a fun one to go tear apart and work on. Then we got the Boston and Maine one, which looks to have the same drive system, but I'm noticing a few weird things. This front truck's not powered. It's like really freely floating around. There's no truck covers or anything. It looks to be custom painted, so this one's certainly got some weird things going on with it. Next up, we have the unpainted lifelike engine. Well, unlettered. It looks like someone painted it in the past. Judging by the green I see underneath, this was probably a Burlington Northern engine, so I don't know if I'll be able to rescue the paint underneath. I might try just for fun. I do have some spare shells I could try throwing on this thing, so we'll see. And lastly, we have the Lionel GP30. This was something that was probably one of the first ever engines I actually bought for the channel. This one's going to need a new coupler on the front. It's got some handrail damage and some other stuff, but overall it does not look to be in that bad of a condition. So it's time to test all these engines out. They all claim to be broken non-runners, but I've had that come up in the past, and then every single engine turned out to run. So let's see if any of these will start, or if they are all actually broken. I'll start with this Boston and Maine engine that seemed to be in really rough shape. And it has full power in the track. And I'm hearing absolutely nothing from it, so this one actually does not run. Next up is the Chessie System GP18. I'll give this thing some power. And it seems to be doing nothing. I'll give it a little wiggle. It feels like it's starting to do something. Let's bring it back this way, maybe. So this one does move, but it is in pretty rough shape. Next up is the Blank Lifelike F unit. That one definitely moved. It's not running great, but it is clearly working. Now, the Seaboard AHM GP18. It's got full power. I'll give it a wiggle. And that one seems to be seized. Now the only steam locomotive. I put the tender on the track, but it's missing an axle, so I don't want to do that. The quartering on this thing also feels like it's way out of whack. The wheels seem way too wide, but we'll see if it runs anyway. It did move. And it's just derailed. So clearly this guy runs. I might just need to mess with the spacing of the axles, give it some fresh oil and stuff, but this one really doesn't seem like a lost cause. Next up is the Mantua F unit. I'll give this one some power. And it looks like we have a headlight. See if wiggling it starts the motor. It does not seem like it. It looks like there's some motor issues with this one. Next up, I have the Lionel GP30. Again, I had one of these for such a long time. We'll see if this one runs like the other one did. Okay, it's really sluggish, but it is moving. See if it wants to break through and start, maybe. Apparently not. This one will need some work. And lastly is the Athearn PRR unit. I believe it's an Athearn at least. I'll give this thing some power. It moved for a split second. Okay, that's really loud, but it does run. So it's definitely in need of some fresh oil. So all these engines will be projects probably for some future videos, and they'll be quite fun to work through.